to help small business owners and creative entrepreneurs. This is social media marketing and digital marketing. Thanks for connecting with me. And if we're connecting for the very first time, do leave a comment below. Subscribe, turn on the notification to be kept up to date with my videos, notifications, updates. And to the return viewers, thanks for watching and for all your contributions so far. So this is take 2, whether that's fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. Take number 2, and I recorded previously, but for some reason Siri decided to jump on and block all my volume. So for 20 minutes I was recording on YouTube with no volume on because Siri decided it was her day. So this is, anyway, you know what, technology, here we go. Wanted to share with you what's been working well so far in terms of services that I have been providing on a voluntary basis for a small business, and this is a cleaning business, and tips basically to help you if you are a small business owner, creative entrepreneur. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself because I'm just thrown all over the place. So I'll focus on what I've written down so that I can keep on track and I don't digress. Number 1, always have a brief outline of your life vision and your purpose. This will help you in the short and long run in terms of cost, in terms of communicating to your audience, developing a brand personality, a story, and also building connections with your ideal audience and your ideal prospective clients. It will save you tons and tons and tons of time. I can't stress that enough. When something is not written down, when goals are not written down, it doesn't exist. Okay, it helps you just keep on track and be more in tune with your life vision and your goals. Then moving on to number 2, your ideal client persona and characteristics is also useful. All of this does not have to be like the historical traditional businesses where you spend endless hours creating a 20-page business plan, which most of us did not even end up looking at. That's how I started. When I was working in my 9-to-5, I thought, oh, I want to start a business. And I spent I don't know, months, years thinking up of a business plan. Forgot about it. It just developed, grew dust, if that's even a thing. But I think you know what I mean. And I forgot about it. All this takes is a 1-page template and the client persona and characteristics you can find at HubSpot. So that I just make it clear. Any companies that I mention, I am not affiliated with them. I'm just sharing them based on platforms that I use and I found beneficial. So it's a one page template. It helps you outline your personal characteristics. So this is based on who you imagine will opt in or value the services that you have to offer. Okay, so it's good to imagine the person, including the name, including their core values, their principles, their lifestyle, their professional, everything that you can think about. Model it based on you, and if it's not you, then it's who else do you think is going to opt in into your services and products. Why I say you, it helps because there's something intuitively when you're creating a business that's motivated you to opt in or create that business. So I'll give you an example. For me, I'm somebody who suffers from fibromyalgia, musculoskeletal widespread pain. So as a result of going through my recovery period, I decided to create a product which might be a PDF format, a PDF form, which is intended for educational purposes, and the people who I believe are going to benefit from this are people who suffer from something that is similar to me, and they'll automatically connect with what I'm talking about because they can resonate. So I'm just giving you an example, and it's a real case study. So I hope that's making sense. So it makes it easier when you start from yourself. But if you've created something that is not connected to you and you've just opted it into it, the other thing you have to also ask yourself is that, are you really passionate about it, or are you just in it just to make a quick buck and then get out of it? Okay. For long-term businesses and success, it always helps to connect with something that you're really passionate about, and there's a good cause or there's something that will add social value. Okay, so that was number 2. And then platforms to use are social media platforms, which we all know about, but they're ones that you know that you're going to maximize on and spend most of your time on. I tend to maximize on all social media platforms for as much as possible. But in terms of the cleaning business that I'm like assisting and trialing out, is I haven't used TikTok or YouTube, because I would include like personalizing something that is connected to like the business owner. Obviously I can do like cartoons and things like that, but it's always good to personalize your brand like we are talking right now, so that people get to know, like, and trust who you are. So not everybody is comfortable in on this media, but it's about also looking at, when you're connected to your life vision and your purpose, the likelihood is that the things about aesthetics, what you look like, what you sound like, the mistakes that you're making are not going to matter, because it's about connecting to a human being. And human beings make errors. Human beings come in all different shapes and modes. People will eventually connect to you. The right people will connect to you. So never like waste your energy focusing on that. We disregard that. We focus on our grander purpose, our sole purpose for wanting to connect with specific people, and they will ultimately understand. I know there's like all sorts of competition about aesthetics and, you know, beauty, but that's not long lasting. We're going deep within and looking at a grander purpose in life. So that's why it helps to have a vision in mind. Then you don't waste your energy on focusing on that. You focus on the strategic and operational aspects of your business. Okay, so I've also noticed that like on Twitter, things that are working well is ads. And if you spend time on Twitter, I know in the US it might be banned. Sorry for that. What I've noticed on Twitter is that there's some sponsored ads which have motivated me emotively to connect, to click on it, and to actually buy something. Which is very unusual for me. So an example would be like a dish rack. There's some ads which have been very captivating that I've even saved the video. So it's having that opportunity to look at what's being posted on social media sites, on social media, as something that's being very popular, or something that is emotively connecting with you. Then you can gear it to making an advertisement around that. Towards the end, to stick with me, I'll also talk about what's been working very well in terms of what I'm doing at the moment. Opt-in pages, landing, and email. It still works. It still pays. Okay. It's think about it more as a long-term plan, in that you're raising awareness about your business. So I say landing pages. I, for a personal reason, use landing pages because I neglected my previous website, because I used to write blogs on a constant basis. I still do, but I use Blogger, which is Gmail Blogger, which is free. And I stopped using WordPress, not to say that I will never use it in the future, but I stopped temporarily because I knew that I was being neglectful. So if you have a website and you're not going to use it constantly, you have to ask yourself, is it worth having one? Landing pages worked effectively, and people have a short attention span. They just want to look at something, especially if you're offering a product or service, something that they can instantly get instead of trawling through all sorts of things, all sorts of messages. Be able to just opt into something, buy something as quickly as they can, especially for the people who are, again, it boils down to your personal characteristics in terms of your ideal client, your ideal personality. So that's what I should state. That's why I decided to create a landing page, because I know what my ideal client and audience, how they think like they're similar to me, and what their patience, their tolerance level, and how they love scrolling through things, and they just want instantaneous things to grab their attention and then they go. That's it. Okay, so you always have to be thinking about these things. Number 3, policies, procedures, induction forms, and systems in place. It's so easy as a creative entrepreneur, business owner, to just get on and do things. Okay, when you start, you have no plan, nothing. You just get on and do things because you do them so easily, because you're used to it. At the end of the day, that's great. But if you don't have something that is written down, it doesn't exist, and you find yourself being bombarded by the operational and feeling as though you haven't achieved anything. So it also helps to have systems, procedures in place, and induction procedures, contracts, you name it, so that when you're ready to have somebody assist you, then at least you have something in place. So somebody assists you, like a virtual assistant or an admin staff. They can hop on easily and follow your steps. They can't guess what's in your mind, okay? Although you do it easily, for other people it might not come so easily. That's what I found beneficial. And it's also from like previous work that I did in my full-time career. I developed systems and processes, quality assurance systems, and also when I started out like on business coaching, had systems in place. And these are things that you also don't have to spend a lot on. I find Google Docs very useful to use as templates, spreadsheet, Word templates, shareable templates, confidentiality clauses. You can also create those just to ensure that your information is secure. Yes, setting SMART goals. Never forget about that. Daily, weekly, including sales targets to push you forward. If you don't have a target daily, including sales. So I posted on Instagram about seeing value in the differences between roles. So like a social media marketing manager and a sales manager, they're two different types of roles and responsibilities, and they all have like enormous responsibilities. If you're doing it on your own, you can set your own sales targets, who you want to reach out to, connect with, and the outcomes you want to achieve. Some of them, when you do like paid ads, for instance, those are not guaranteed, but there's certain platforms which will help you to at least have people have eyeballs on your post, and that's what I'm going to talk about towards the end. Okay, so yeah, having specific targets with a sales system is about follow-up. So if somebody has opted in, it's ensuring that you follow up. People commenting on Facebook or on social media doesn't guarantee that they're going to be interested. It's about, once you've captured a person's information, it's about following it through, but it's not about sell all the time. It's thinking about your personal characteristic in terms of the type of things that they're concerned about, worried about, and the types of help that they would like to receive. The more you get to know the psychology behind what somebody's looking for, and also the urgency in the matter, the easier it becomes to connect with people. So social media management, if you're not able to do it alone, you can always also look at sourcing virtual assistants or admin staff, like for instance, Upwork, Indeed jobs as well, so that they can assist you with the mundane tasks that you find either like the too time consuming, like social media management, like following, liking, reciprocating comments. Some of those things can take time. Even the administrative calls like sales, following up on certain things, when people have expressed an interest, making calls, are just some of the examples. Delegate where you can as much as possible. And if you don't have the budget, those type of things can be held, but it's also something that you can put in place as a working goal to say that in the near future, this is the plan that you have, is to get somebody on board. And the virtual assistants, now that most of us are working online, you can also look globally, set a budget and find people according to your budget as well. The other things that are helpful to have in place once you've established yourself on social media platforms is to set up like your social media calendar, including special dates, which are like memorable dates, so that you can offer certain things such as like sales, or just acknowledge that it's like, let's say if it's like Memorial Day, Independence Day, wherever you may be in the world, it's just to acknowledge that connects people. Or if it's something that's like a joint global thing or local thing, people can resonate with that. It brings a little bit about you recognizing specific like holidays, and also it also brings in the personality that you're a person rather than a robot that's continuously selling stuff. Okay, then also including reviews. Review your work as well as you go along. So I've mentioned the analytics and performance. Reviewing your analytics on the platforms that you've established your business, so that at least you can know what's working well and what's not working well, and other systems and processes that you've embedded in place as well. So advertising and marketing, I've been using Canva and Pixabay. Pixabay for pictures. You can also credit the people who've created the pictures their own different social media platforms. It's not something that is what is it, that a must, but it's just something that's kind to do, okay, when you've got the opportunity to do that. Canva is great for using it for, you know, your personal branding. It's got all sorts of different types of templates. Everything that I'm sharing with you, I'll write a full blog post where you can find additional information and links as well in due course. So give me 1 week. 1 week, on the 31st of July 2020, the special year, yes, that we shall all remember for different reasons, or for one significant reason. Okay. Then other platforms for automating. So if you haven't got the opportunity in terms of time, you're limited on time, you can look into your phone app for social media scheduling apps. The ones I can think of or come to mind are Buffer and Later, which enable you to schedule in your posts like during the weekend, so that you don't have to worry about it during the week. You can also use Facebook platform on a timer, so that once it's there, it's scheduled, it's done, you have other things to focus on. I'll hop on to ads. I hope you're keeping up with me here. Ads we have found useful. So what this is all about is thinking about how to maximize, increasing and optimizing their brand awareness, okay, so that people see you nearly everywhere, up to the point that they become used and familiar to who you are. You're developing a know and trust factor. Free ads. So free ads in your local area if you're locally based and you're providing physical products or services. And then global, looking at global, local ads, free ads, especially if your budget is limited. Google ads, testing them out. You can set the budget according to what you can realistically afford. Craigslist, I found, works very well for recruitment as well as business. That's paid. And if I remember from like the last ad, it was like 45, not my budget, trialing out and assisting somebody else. Then Google ads. That's my computer here reminding me of something. Let me just mute that. Then yes, what else was I going to mention? Google has started out business page. So the business page, okay, I've got it now. So the Google business page works just like social media pages. I'll drop the link below or in my blog post. Look out for the link for my blog post. So the Google, I found it very useful because I can see it over time. It enables you to post updates just like you would do like on social media platforms. And I've been testing out using hashtags. And also, what else was it? Oh yeah, you can also add offers. So it's similar like to Facebook. If you've got like a business page and create our business page, then you also see that Facebook includes window or what can I say? A function. Yes, a function where you can use to add offers. Okay. So Google has that as well, and I've been noticing that the views are increasing. So next thing I'm going to like observe is, and if anybody takes any action on the product and service that's being offered. Then Facebook as well, before I forget that, Facebook has got analytics. It's also got the marketplace and community groups where you can also engage in advertising your business, and these are all free opportunities. NEXTDOOR app. NEXTDOOR app offers 3 sponsored ads per month. It encourages you, rather than continuously posting sponsored ads, to engage with your community as a personality, because that's what people want to do authentically, is to connect to people. So I've been testing that out in terms of sponsorship, but not doing it often. So all you do is like post like on your business dashboard, you post an ad, but it's not posted as an ad. It's like how you want to communicate to your community as a business owner. And that turns out or post as a sponsored ad, okay? So that also develops like an awareness or builds an awareness for your local community about who you are, and you can map it out, increase the area of where you want people to be able to view your sponsored message rather than an ad. I think that's a better word to use. Moving on to Yelp. I've also tested Yelp. Yelp is working out perfectly, and I think it's suited for products and services, especially if you're local. I haven't tried it for myself in terms of my creative entrepreneurship venture, because then that would be global to connect with like a wider audience. I've tried it for like a local product, a local business for products and services. That's in relation to the business that I've mentioned before that I'm assisting, a small business owner. So that seems to be working well in terms of queries and in terms of people like opting into the offer. So on Yelp, you can choose different types of bundles, and it gives you an opportunity in the beginning to test it out based on your budget. Then you can then add the bundles according to what you want in your budget. I'll do like the ad bits another time because that's more detailed. And then there's another video that I also did mention communities which are useful for you to establish yourself. I use it for digital nomad purposes, and one of them that I mentioned was Reddit. So on Reddit, I turned on my notifications so that what tends to happen is that when I'm working, creating like blog posts or videos like this, I see a pop-up, and as I was talking to you, a pop-up did come up. So most of these pop-ups are questions that the community is asking, the communities that I've joined, personalities, people. And if I see a comment that's significant enough, then I'll hop on there and I'll respond to that comment because it's timely. So the comment might be a question. So if I am aware of something, I share it. I'm not expecting anything in return. And what I've noticed when I've been active is that I've also, people have looked at my profile and then they've sent me a private message on Instagram and said, hey, I found you on Instagram. I've got 2 boxes, one for special messages, as in people like in my network who I want to connect with, other ones that I'll view later. I can't remember the name of the boxes, but you can tell me if you if you use the creator profile. And obviously sometimes people will be like, hey, I followed you, follow me back. Sometimes I don't do that because I'm like, if you generally want to connect with me, then you press follow. And if I see your content and I'm really genuinely connected to it, then I'll follow. It's always about giving before you ask for something. So some people have asked specific questions after they found me on Reddit, and I'm happy to share out anything that I know. Because that's how we grow as individuals, and that's how we add social value as well. Other things that I've mentioned, I've listed down is have a social media calendar, map it out like for a month, including special days and including tasks that you will do for your social media marketing, including when you automate systems. And as you go along during the day, if you're listening to podcasts or some idea comes up, you can put it on your calendar. So at least that's like a key topic, a specific topic of your content, what you're going to write about. And before you post your post, always remember you need to have some substance. You need to have a caption, something written out, not just hashtags, that connects with people, that communicates something, that communicates what your picture is about and what your video is about. When you don't post anything, me and other characters on social media tend to skip that information, especially like on Instagram, because you think, okay, the person hasn't written any context or given something to like their image. What do they want me to do? Okay, so always think about your client avatar and personality. So I hope this is all making sense and it's helpful. And if anything that I've shared is resonating with you, then do leave a comment and remember to hit the notification button, to hit the subscribe button so that you're kept up to date with my videos as well. Brand personality, I've mentioned before, always remember to include your personality, okay? It's so essential nowadays because there's going to be more and more people hopping online, working from home, as is shown increasingly because of the pandemic. But not only because of the pandemic, but it's just shown us that there are other ways to live healthier lifestyles where people can be enabled to work from home. So that's why your brand personality matters, because people want to know who is behind, because there's there's so much choice that's out there that people are savvy and they know they know what they want in terms of products and services. That's why it helps to set you apart, because when you think about what makes you unique, you're only one person, unless if you got a twin. Even if you got a twin, you're still different personalities. You're only one person in this world. there's going to be, at least out of the billions or the trillions, I don't know how many people are on this earth, somebody is going to connect with you because they like you for who you are. Okay, so that's why it's so important to show up as you, in line with your vision, your passion, so that people can connect with you. Lastly, as the last bit that I wanted to talk about, what's been working well, I'll just list them. And the reason why I'm listing them is that it's because of like recruitment and also for business products and services. There's sites that have been helpful. Indeed, Craigslist, Yelp, landing pages, and opt-ins. Okay, I've noticed a little bit of a slowdown. It might be specific to the group, to the business, but in terms of like Facebook responses, I used to post like assisting with a small business on a voluntary basis. Again, trialing out, testing. I like to test things out. Recruitment, and there was a lot of responses last year, but now it seems like you have to pay to play on Facebook as well. So Indeed, Craigslist, Yelp, they're all paid, but again, you can also set your own fee. Yelp, I've seen that it's responsive in terms of the turnaround time when people asking questions and then you provide them a quote, or some people completely just like text you or send in a request about the service that they want you to provide. That's it. And I hope what I've shared has been helpful. And if there's any specific questions that you've got or need any assistance, do feel free to leave a comment below, and also to connect with me via my social media sites, especially Instagram. That's where I'm most likely to respond very quickly. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I'm in private message. I'm most likely to respond more quickly. And even on here, I'll find your comments somehow. I just discovered that I've got I won't even mention 3 years worth of comments. Somehow they were hidden on YouTube. So for the people who commented and contributed, thank you. Finally discovered where my comments were. And I'm going to be on it now, checking in YouTube Creator Studio. Ciao from me for now, until next time, and thanks again for watching.
Say what you wanna say to me now.